growth. But what path does it follow? Is the destination one to be desired?
Aristotle took his own long gulp of the sweet wine. This seemed a deep subject, even for his teacher, the master of deep subjects. It would be long into the night before this conversation ended.
"Have I stumped you?"
Plato prodded.
"No, teacher. I'm only pausing to gather my thoughts before I say something foolish. It is the mark of an educated man to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it."
"Wise words," Plato responded.
"Which is why, in my company, you can speak as you think, because I will never hold you to your musings. We are here to philosophize, and by accident we may change the very future of which we ponder. Or likewise, we may spew forth nonsense and go to bed frustrated at the effort. As my teacher, Socrates, said before, I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing."
Plato grew silent, and Aristotle knew that the man now expected his student to start spilling his thoughts, which he did, finally feeling free to share the peculiar musings he'd pondered many times in the quiet of his room.
"I often wonder if the world is part of a fabric, master. Metaphorically, of course. We do, after all, imagine the fates as great weavers. Perhaps time is woven in a pattern, then, and there are threads of events placed in that pattern in some predetermined sequence. And if there is a design to the reality of the universe, does it follow that it's possible for that reality to be broken? For things to go the way they should not?"
Plato had turned in his chair to look at his pupil, a sense of wonder in his eyes.
"Please, do go on. You've captured my attention."
Aristotle knew his teacher was sincere, and he continued with excitement.
"As I study the tomes of our history, a recurring thought always comes to my mind. What if something happened that wasn't supposed to happen? Or what if something didn't happen that should have? Is it permanent? Is history permanent? Or can we change it?" "Change history?" Plato asked. "So much said in so few words. I think you've breasted a topic that, in truth, frightens me, my pupil. Not in a bad way, mind you, but my foundation trembles. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of badness," Aristotle said, "and I do believe that the things I've pondered about our past and future walk the edge of that madness. But by the same token, it may be the most important notion I've ever had."
Plato nodded slowly, considering.
"What is at the crux of this notion?" "Progress," Aristotle replied. "Technology, on a scale that is beyond even the furthest reaches of our understanding. What if someday our race advances enough that we could actually manipulate time and—"
A rapid flurry of knocks at the door interrupted his words. Plato, his beard seeming a shade darker somehow, reluctantly ordered whomever it was to step onto the balcony. A young boy, his name was Python of Innis, popped his head in and apologized.
"I'm sorry, master," Python said, "but there is a message from King Philip sent by horse. I thought you would want to see it."
Plato sighed.
"What would Socrates say at a time like this?" "Be kind," Aristotle provided. "For everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. Don't put up airs, pupil."
But Plato had the scantest glint of mirth in his eyes, a rarity these days.
"Bring it, boy, and then get back to your studies. Tomorrow we will begin the theory of forms."
Python quickly handed over the small scroll to his master, then scurried back inside from the balcony, shutting the door behind him. Plato unrolled the parchment and read through its contents, his expression never changing. Aristotle knew better than to pry. Finally, the scholarch of the Academy of Plato and its